Hello and welcome to Blaxodus. On this channel, we encourage the exodus of Black people back to their roots, whether that is Africa or the Caribbean, wherever home is for you. This channel is all about championing and highlighting those who have been brave enough to make the transition. Now today on this episode is a very special episode. And this one, we are sharing our personal story, and it's a very interesting one. So keep it locked right here on Blaxodus. And well, who am I? My name is Damilola Bisiga-Shoyoye, aka Dami B, and I am your host for today. And on this episode, I have a very special guest. He is my partner in crime. He is my best friend. He is my chef, my driver, my handyman, my everything. And today, I am joined by my wonderful special husband, and I'm going to be asking him questions all about our journey of how we built our dream home right here in Abeokuta, Nigeria, whilst living abroad in the UK. Now, since we've dropped our housewarming video, our home video, a lot of you have been contacting us with questions, so many questions. So we felt like, okay, instead of repeating everything individually to people one by one, let's just put it all together in this video for you. So I hope you find this helpful. I hope you find it valuable and enjoy. So, Akin, my love.
My love.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to Blaxodus.
Thanks for having me.
And you know, how are you feeling?
I feel fine, feel cool, feel nice.
Good.
Nice being here.
Good. Now, babe, since we've dropped, our video of our new home, how would you describe, if you had to describe the reactions from people in maybe one or two words, how would you describe the overall reaction since we dropped that release video?
Well, the reactions to me can be summarized in just one simple word. However, the repetition of the word can be pronounced and can also transition into a popular soundtrack that we all know, that the police use, the ambulance use. So it's simply wow. Because people have just been saying, people that don't know each other, people from across the sea, people even from different countries in Africa or in
around
the Americas
the world,
or Europe, around the world. The word that stand up to me most is wow, which is like, this is big, this is huge, this is wonderful, and they're like happy for us.
Yeah.
And that's simply it. Wow.
Absolutely, I love that. Okay, so babe, like I said, people have had a lot of questions about how we've done it. Like, people have been like, they want to know our full journey. They want to know everything from the beginning till now. So I've put together a lot of the common questions that we've been receiving, both of us individually. And then, that's what I'm going to go through with you now and ask you. So are you ready, babe?
Good.
You good? Amazing. So let's start with, what actually inspired us to build in Nigeria. Yeah, what really made us, and for this, we're going to get real, we're going to get raw, upfront and honest. So I know the story I'm thinking of, your work story and everything, but I'll hand it over to you, because that was what pushed you, right? Okay. So yeah. So what really pushed you in the beginning to want to look back home when you moved to, when you were in the UK? We got married, you moved to the UK, and as far as you knew, that was it. We were going to build our full life there. We weren't really thinking about anything outside the country. So what changed? What started to change for you that made you look homewards?
Yeah, first and foremost, I will divide this section into 3 sections. The first section is, as you rightfully said, when I moved to the UK after we got married. Uh, Even though I was a Pan-African, I never knew I I could be such a Pan-African until I left the continent. So leaving the continent made me understand that I was a black man. Before I left, I was a man.
Just a man.
So when I got to the UK, some British people are nice that I've met along the way, while
Sure.
some are not that nice. So they made me understand that I'm a black man, and no matter how much my accent could change, because I got a lot of messages then that your accent is so strong, then no matter how much I could acclimatize myself to the country, there's always this void in me that I'm an African first before I could be naturalized into any other nationality. That is first. And secondly, uh, at, at work one day, uh, I got I wouldn't say divine encounter. It's a physical kind of encounter
Yeah.
that made me sit down and thought like, you know what? Let me speak to some people that have been in this country way long before I came.
Mm-hmm.
So I met people that have spent 10 years, 20 years, even 30 years in the UK
Yeah.
doing that particular job we're doing. Then I spoke to them like, sir, how long have you been here? They told me with pride. Fine. So I was thinking that, what have you achieved like since all this while I've been here? So like, yeah, we have a mortgage. They're driving some okay cars. Obviously, you can't use what people drive to as
Like
a
judge,
yardstick
yeah.
to judge their achievement. But when you look at their appearance, their mannerism, their mode of communication, and what they think is an achievement, to me as a young lad that just got to the UK, I realized that no, this world is not for me, and I have to look inward, like look back from where I came from, because in my head, we don't know. Like in the Christian Bible, it says that there will be a day that there will be a king that doesn't know Joseph, that will be the king, which means that rules and regulation of each countries are dynamic and fluid that can change based on what is happening at that particular time. Just like what is happening in America now, that Trump is clamping down on even the people that have their own form of indefinite leave to remain,
Yeah.
green cards and stuff. So I was thinking that when push comes to shove, what we have, where we are from, at that moment, as my Pan-Africanism wokeness was waking up in me, I realized that it's more valuable than like just building everything we own or we would be in this land. That even though we might be British eventually, but I will never be an Englishman. So that's when I started thinking like, no, I need to look inward back from where we're from. And Yoruba people say that Ile Latin Kesharode, which means charity begins at home. So I was like, okay, fine, this is my new home, but I can never forget where I'm from. And what we have in Nigeria is yours. Like,
Yeah.
you know, in America and UK, you pay property tax, you pay council tax. If you don't pay, they'll be charged to court. It's like, we need to look inwards, then from there, we can build a life that we want wherever we are. And the most important part, so there was a time where in my mom's house in Abeokuta, where our house is now, that I had my vehicle parked and in my mom's house. Then one of my siblings was like, I don't know why he said what he said, but it's woken up something in me. He said that asking me that I shouldn't park my car in my mom's house, that he should go and park it in his house. I think we are having some issues then. So I was now wondering, like, this guy knows that I don't have a piece of land anywhere in the world. Why did he say that he should go and park it in his house? Which in Yoruba it means like aroko, like a metaphor to pass a message across to me. So I was like, come on, wait a minute. I've been in this abroad for a while, and I've been dashing out money to people right, left, and center. Even though I am my wife, which is you, we're struggling, we're managing. But I'm like, no, I don't want my extended family to feel the void of me not being there anymore, and I also want to help. So time was going. I was, as Franklin would say, is a famous YouTuber, I was playing God. So I was like, you know what, I need to actually start doing stuff for myself. So that was the same day I heard that statement was the day I got the land and made sure our engineer started working on it that very day. And how did I start? I used to have an X6, a BMW X6. I got the car sold and it started the foundation. I started, like our forefathers would say, you don't save up money to build a house. You just need to start, and bit by bit. So far your focus is there, it will work out. So I started it with the faith that, you know what, at least, even if I don't have a roof over my head, like permanently that is mine or ours anywhere in the world, at least we have a foundation where we can start building something. So that is the main catalyst of me kickstarting, like pouring my time, my thoughts into this project. That was 3 years ago.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Okay, babe. So we've got the story of what inspired you, and it's a mixture of, you know, frustration, you know, from work and that, just doing the same cycle for, you know, years. That's how it felt like at that time, right? And then a mixture of that with, you know, other people pushing you, right? People who kind of said something to spite us or look down on us. So it's a bit of that too, which is fine because different things motivate people. So I love that. Okay. So now another question we've gotten is why Abeokuta of all places? Because one question people have asked me is, or their assumption is, oh, you guys are in Lagos, right? And I'm like, no. And then like, oh, you guys are in Ibadan, right? And I'm like, no. And they're like, where else is there in Nigeria if you're not in Lagos or Ibadan? I'm like, Abeokuta. And they're like, oh, what's in Abeokuta and why? So, babe, why Abeokuta?
Yeah, that's a good question. Abeokuta to me, first and foremost, is my source. When I say my source, is where my ancestors actually came from. Then going back hundreds and thousands of years, Abeokuta, the Egba people, who actually came from Ibadan, which is the Oyo Empire. Then also going back hundreds of years, we all came from Ile-Ife. So Abeokuta to me is sort of my Ile-Ife. It is my source. And thinking about where I want to lay down my bones, not about being dead anyway, but just to rest my body after hustling all over the world. Where would I love to stay? As an average African, an average Nigerian, we always think about the big cities when we want to settle down. But to me, settling down is much more than a big city. A big city makes sense when you are working in the big city and that's where you are getting your income from. But when you want to settle down, it's like I'm living my pension life at 30-something years old. So I wouldn't want to stay in Lagos for any reason, because Lagos, to me, is a lovely city, but it's a disorganized chaos. Lagos, because I actually lived in Lagos. I didn't grow up with my dad in Abeokuta. I lived in Lagos my primary school days. And I remember the kind of hassle that was in Lagos, the traffic, the air pollution,
stress,
the noise pollution, the
day-to-day
stress, even the sewage management, the overpopulation. And people tend to forget that Lagos is just one of the 36 states of the country, including the FCT, Abuja. Nigeria is much more bigger than Lagos. Lagos is actually the smallest state by landmass, even though it's the most populous state in the country. And Abeokuta to me is like a sandwich between Ibadan, which is the largest, I believe, largest city in West Africa, and also to Lagos. So apart from being my ancestral source, I was like, okay, if I'm chilling in Abeokuta, I would also like to enjoy the little bit of chaos that Lagos brings. So what do? Then I realized that they were actually building a train station. I think it started from the Buhari's regime. Now it's been completed and it's functioning. So the train actually connects Ibadan, Abeokuta, and Lagos. No traffic and very nice train. And it makes me think that, okay, I can go to Lagos for the weekend, come back home during my holiday or when I'm fully here. So Abeokuta is much more than my ancestral origin. It's a melting pot of calmness. Like my friend said when he came for the house viewing, housewarming, it was like this is the first time it was actually breathing in green, fresh air. Because Abeokuta's population, I believe, is less than 500,000 people. And compared to Lagos, over 25, 27 million people.
Ooh.
You can imagine that kind of population in a city that is not well planned and social infrastructure is lacking. So that's why I chose Abeokuta, because of the greenery, the increment in the O2, the oxygen in the air, the lack of traffic jam, because you can actually go from point A to point B in Abeokuta. Let's say you have a meeting with someone at 8 o'clock. You can leave your house. If it's 5 minutes drive, mathematically speaking, it's 5 minutes drive mostly. So those are the stuff that made me like, you know what, let me settle down in Abeokuta, which is my ancestral home. And there's a place in Abeokuta called Shoyoye, which is like a massive region of Abeokuta. And where I build is just like off Shoyoye. So my name is Mr. Akin Shoyoye, and I'm happy that knowing that looking at my balcony in the morning, I'm seeing a place, like a massive region in Abeokuta called Shoyoye, even though the house is not there. So it makes me feel like I'm connected to my source. Yeah,
you're really at home.
And as the English, I think the Yoruba people say that which means the river that forgets its source will dry up. So by remembering my source, that's why I decided to settle down here. The peace, the calm, and also the propensity for development. Abeokuta has a lot of prospects, because when people think of Nigeria, they think of Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, that's it, and Ibadan. But there's so much things that need to be done in Abeokuta. We like cinemas, like parks for children, like different business ideas that is lacking. So I was like, how can I also shine a light onto Abeokuta by also thinking ahead, like in investments, purposes, and also building my dream home in my city.
Amazing. So definitely we're going to put Abeokuta on the map. You heard it here first. And I just want to add to that and say, we'll show you guys a view of like from our balcony. The hills are amazing, gorgeous, beautiful. It's my favorite part of our new home. And all I'll say is Lagos would never. You could never get that in Lagos. You could never ever get that view, the fresh air, the greenery, and the hills. You know, it's giving Nigerian Beverly Hills. I love it so much. So that's another reason why we were like, no, we need to go somewhere that has that real countryside vibe that we value so much in the West. So yeah, so I'm really happy. And like you said, also, we wanted somewhere that eventually over time, as we grow and develop and, we can do more things, a place that we can actually make more of an impact and, bring more development and bring more awareness and bring more entertainment and bring lots of things to the city. So yeah, I love that. Okay, babe. So you kind of touched on it, but basically, did you always dream of building in Nigeria, or is it something that, kind of evolved over time, or was it there from the beginning for you in your heart, I guess?
Well, for me as a Nigerian, growing up in Nigeria, way long before I met you, my plan when it comes to property was to follow the footsteps of my late dad, which is the dream of most Nigerians. This starts, like Yoruba people say, that which literally means we start eating moi from the flat side instead of going to the bulky side. So, because life itself is gradual process. So I was thinking that when I'm done with uni, start working, I meet the girl of my dream, whatever, we start in a room apartment, then we'll move to 2-bedroom apartment, then a 3-bedroom flat, then we'll grow bit by bit, just like my parents did before my dad built his house then. Yeah. So, and as you know, I never had dreams of going anywhere. I was so Pan-African, Pan-Nigerian, even though Nigeria doesn't give you so much to be proud of based on the kind of nepotistic leaders that we have,
Yeah.
and the corruption that runs in the government. So people can hardly dream of building their own home because of the economic situation of the people, where the majority of the funds, of the assets of the country belongs in the pocket of a few. So I was thinking of building gradually. Then I also, when I now had to move out of the country, as I said earlier on, I was not really thinking of building here. Then I started hearing of people's stories, especially of all those uncles that have left the country for 40, 30 years. Then something happened, they come back home, they say they've come back empty-handed. There's nothing to show for their sojourn. Because, come to think of it, 99% of people that have left Nigeria didn't leave because they wanted to. They only left because of the bleak fluidity and form of the Nigerian economy. And they were thinking that how can I make the best of my lifetime, because we are all living on borrowed time.
Yeah.
The moment you were born, the only thing that is 100% sure for everybody is death. So like, instead of wasting their time for the Nigeria that will never give them their future dreams and prospects, they left the country. So by leaving the country, they also want to achieve and do something back home as a way of like, okay, this is what I've been able to do for myself and for my legacy. So when you think of legacy, I don't just want my life and my wife's, my children's life to just be that all we were able to do is to get the mortgage in another man's land, no matter the passport we are holding, because we can never truly be of that country. Anything can happen in the future.
Yeah, we can be British, but we're never English.
We're never English, we're never Welsh, we're never Irish, we're never Scottish.
Yeah.
So that is the major reason I was like, no, we need to have something that is ours, that is mortgage free, literally. Because some people are asking
Just run that back. Run that back. Say that line again.
That is mortgage free.
Okay.
It's debt free.
Yes.
And by the grace of Olodumare, as we say in Yoruba, which is the Almighty, we didn't borrow a penny from anybody to do this. It just happened because our focus was rightfully on it, and we sacrificed
a lot.
Our time, our enjoyment, our flexing,
energy,
we live
everything.
A triangle life, which is kind of synonymous to the slave triangle trade.
The rat race triangle. Rat race, I guess.
From work to the house, from the house to work for 3 years consecutively. And it's there now.
I'd say more, babe. But yeah, we'll get to that.
It's there now. And if this house is short for a year or for 6 months, we know that we are not incurring any form of deficit payment that we need to make, either through water bill, we provide our water for ourselves, electric bill, we provide our electricity ourselves, just like the average way of Nigeria. So in short, this was not my dream to have a big house, as a lot of people are saying. I wanted to start gradually. But in life, when you are at a different stage in life and you set yourself a goal, even though you don't know how you're gonna get it, it now became my mission to make a statement with my first building that I'm going to be building in my country home, which is Abeokuta. And tada, we're here now. We're here now.
I love that. Okay, now, a question that we have gotten from so many people, and I definitely have to ask you, because I know the people want to know, is people have been asking, Akin, Dami, how did you do it? They want to know, how did you do it? So all of this, what inspired you? These people don't care. They want to know how. So let's get to the crux of it. And I'm going to highlight this bull right here, because this bull means something. So I'm gonna hand it over to you to tell the bull run story, babe, of one of the ways that we were able to really get capital and start this whole journey. Honestly, all right.
Yes, that's a good question. As we all know, as Yoruba people say, "Owo ni keke iyin rere," which, like, translating literally means money is the vessel of the gospel. Without money, the gospel will not spread. Like, literally, money makes the world go round.
It does.
So when we talk about funds, as I said earlier on, I didn't have a penny stored anywhere when we started the house and selling my car to start the foundation. However, when I was speaking to people that had been in the UK way before me, I'm making mention of UK a lot because that is my story.
Yeah, sure.
There are a lot of people that have done something much more than this that have never seen airports in their life.
Sure, sure.
There are a lot of people doing well in Nigeria,
right
in Ghana,
here,
in
absolutely,
Congo, Cameroon.
Absolutely.
So success is not tied to traveling abroad or JAPA, as we say in Nigeria. However, this is my story we're talking about.
And it helped. We have to acknowledge it helped.
Sure, it did help. So when I spoke to people about like, oh, sir, how long have you been here? 20 years, 30 years. Well, so what do you do apart from this? Well, this is what we do, this is what we've been able to do. Then I sat down one day and realized that I don't want this to be my story. I don't want to be in my 60s and a young lad too just popped up from Nigeria or from Ghana speaking to me like, sir, how long have you been here? Then
Like, you're like 40 years.
30 years, I've been here 40 years. Then you'll be like, oh, what have you been able to achieve in an indirect way? Then be like, okay, mortgage in UK or in the US. Then, well, that's pretty much it. Because
a nice car and
nice car,
2.5 children.
On payment plan.
On payment plan.
On payment plan. Because you can make so much money in this so-called abroad. But abroad will also take so much money from you.
Oh, yeah.
Just like our forefathers said, which means that the money make even in Lagos State takes it back. Talk less of the abroad that we all know. So I decided that I don't want this to be my story. I want to do something that I will own, that it will be in my family, that it won't be subjected to change of policies by the government, or maybe the government that maybe Labour or Conservative that is more friendly to foreigners. Or now we have this guy coming. I've forgotten his name now. That's
Nigel Farage.
Nigel Farage. That's obviously you all know what it stands for. That is not really into immigration and stuff. Like differences might happen. So that's why I was like, no, I need to do this. But when it comes to money stuff, what she said the other time about this bull, we know the meaning of a bull: strength, ability to lead the herd. However, in finance, it's basically mean profitability when we think of like the market, forex, trading, and cryptocurrency. So without cryptocurrency, this house of ours would just be on a 3D plan, on a 3D model. So the cryptocurrency that I'm talking about is actually the one I created myself, which is called Ibile coin. Ibile, which means culture or tradition, and I'm also known, my AK is Mr. Ibile. We also have other projects with the name Ibile that is attached to it. So without Ibile coin, this wouldn't have been possible. So Ibile coin is a Cardano-based token that I created, I think 3 or 4 years ago now. 4 years,
because our daughter is 4. It was around the time we had our first child.
Okay.
She's 4 now.
So 4 years ago. And what led me to create the crypto, it's still my Pan-Africanism. Like I looked out in the world, I couldn't see any cryptocurrency that is Pan-African based and didn't utilize money from VCs, venture capitalists, or angel investors. I just wanted something like from grassroots. And there's a word I'm looking for.
Yeah, just something authentic, I guess.
Something authentic that is not attached to any big name.
Yeah.
That's why I started it with my own funds. And at the pinnacle of the trading of Ibile coin, now I'm talking about history, not future, because I don't know what might still happen with the project. We traded over $1 million in the total trade at the pinnacle. And we all know crypto is up and down. And as people were calling me like they wanted to invest in my project, I was like, no, it's up to you. You need to know that you can lose money and you can make money. But you need to understand that, because there's nothing that is 100% apart from dying the moment you're born. So that scares a lot of people off. And some people invested. And it is what it is. But in short, without the project, this house wouldn't be standing. So from my frustration, which led me to thinking of what else can I do with my time and my brain, this little brain that this nature has given me. Like, I don't want to do everything that everybody's doing
and get the same results.
Because it's a fool that does the same thing over and over again and expect different results. So that is why I took the risk. I took time off work to think. Then my wife was like, bro, what are you doing? Your mates are hustling, like, what gonna do? And my wife too. Both of us, we can't count how many things we've tried to do since I've been in the UK. Different projects. Some of you might know. Women empowering stuff, Pan-African stuff. Different stuffs entirely. So, Olodumare kind of like blessed us with the inception of Ibile Coin. And we made sure, because we know that money is like a smoke. It appears for a while, then it vanishes. But you can convert that smoke, because in physics, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form to another. So you can convert that smoke to something to power your life, your legacy, before it vanishes. And that's what we did. So we sacrificed our flexing, our enjoyment. We invested in a lot of stuff. Then it now came back into the zone. And that is literally how we were able to do it. Not by working and expecting your income, salary from a UK-based company. Then you pay tax, you pay a lot of taxes in the UK. Before you could save, you'll probably be 60 years before you can do something like this. So that is, frustration is the catalyst of us looking outwards, like what else can we do apart from go to college, go to uni, sit down in a cubicle and get the salary. And Yoruba said, which means you work to pay bills, to feed, and to be okay. But if you want to be successful in life, you need to have the tenacity and the risk-bearing mechanism to venture into the unknown and take some calculated risk and do business. So that is where we are today.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for that breakdown. And, you know, one thing I want to say is I do remember that period. I remember that period when you were at home and you... He was at home for a long time, guys. And at first I was like, okay, you know, because he's a creative. I'm a creative, so I get it, you know. Yeah, and sometimes you just need to pause and take time for a new idea to, you know, inspire you and start working on it. So, you know, at first, those first few weeks, or, you know, he was at home, I was like, okay, he's planning something new, he's working on something. Then it turned into a couple of months, and I was like, okay. Then it turned into more months, and I was like, bro, what's really happening? Like, what's going on? But, you know, I think that's another thing that we will talk about later as well, the importance of having a spouse who is on the same page as you, you know, even if maybe not at first, but eventually you need to be on the same page, or else nothing is actually going to happen. Nothing's actually going to progress. So we will definitely talk about that later as well. Well, actually, whilst we're there, what would you say? Because there's a lot of people who have said to us as well that they are interested in maybe going back home, wherever home is, you know, wherever, you know, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Ghana, Jamaica. They want to go back home, but their spouse or family, usually spouse, right, is not really interested in following them back home. And it's really hurting them, you know. Usually it's the man. the man wants to go back home, and the woman is like, nah, I'm good here. What advice would you give to a couple in that situation right now?
Yeah, I would say that the most important thing in life when it comes to relationship, especially marriage, is marrying not someone that is extremely beautiful or extremely rich or extremely like a business savvy, but the most important thing is someone that you believe would share your dreams. Because as I said earlier on, and which you know I say a lot, we're all gonna die.
He says that a lot.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
That is Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindus, atheist, agnostic, we're all gonna die.
Sure.
So the point is, the most valuable currency we have on this planet is time. Now, what do you want to spend your time with? Someone that sees your vision, someone that shares your passion, someone that shares your dream, and especially someone that wants your happiness. Now, a lot of people that have never traveled abroad would always daydream about going abroad, going to UK, US, France, or whatnot. Not because they would inherently love the winter, but because of the perception of what they've seen on American movies, on British movies, on documentaries, because everything appears wonderful in London, everything appears wonderful in New York. But when they get there, then reality starts dawning on them. Some of us will get homesick. Some of us will be like, this winter is not really what I thought it was. It looked wonderful on the TV. It looks wonderful in picture, but summer or country that have like summer all year round is actually the vitamin D, and
for sure.
It even helps in curing depression.
Yeah.
That's why they say Nigerians suffering and smiling because of our climate. It's kind of like
listen, the
like
sun helps cure depression to a degree.
That push happiness to a degree.
Yes.
But when you land in the UK, you realize that it's like you've moved from an oven into a deep freezer.
A freezer.
When it comes to the climate. And also the culture shock.
Yeah.
You realize that people smile at you or with you with different mindset. Not that they really like you. It's just common courtesy.
Yeah.
But where we're from,
yeah,
we don't smile for no
for
reason.
no reason.
If you smile, there's something legitimately allowing you to making you smile to someone.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, this person is genuine. Just like the work I was doing before. Someone can be smiling with you like, oh, hey, Akin, do you want a cup of tea? I'm like, oh, I'm fine. Then they go report you to the boss.
Yeah.
That is drinking tea while at work after offering you a cup of tea.
It's just politeness.
So that is the British way.
Yeah.
But it was a lot for me to take in when I got there. Then the depression hits. Because there'll be a time the honeymoon season will be over. Then you start seeing beneath the tall buildings, beneath the pound sterling or US dollars. Then the reality start kicking in like, oh, what am I doing here? What is happening? 20 years, 10 years. And time kind of like also moves in a different way. I would say time moves faster. It's the same time, but before you blink, time is gone.
Yeah.
You're celebrating New Year, you're getting older, doing the same thing, expecting different results. So to me, if you have a partner that is kind of like skeptical about moving, they might have their reasons. So a lot of people, the moment you land in Nigeria, you'll be kidnapped, you'll be killed. The moment you land in Ghana, X and Y, Z will happen. But we need to move away from mainstream media and experience these countries ourselves. So it's not up to the other spouse to try and convince the one that is a little bit skeptical, like, no, we are here now, let's build our life here. Yeah, we can build our life anywhere and everywhere at the same time. There's no law that's stipulating that if you're in the UK, you should remain there for the rest of your life. No. Or if you're in France, you should remain there for the rest of your life. You should never go back home. Those days are over, which is the proper slave trade era. Now, we have a form of freedom that we can move across the world when we fulfill some obligations in the country we are living in. So, the other spouse needs to help the other spouse to see the beauty of like raising the children in the homegrown culture, letting them have the best of both worlds. Because in the Yoruba culture, we have some negative phenomena that I don't subscribe to. The same way I realize in the English culture, they have some negative vibe that I don't subscribe to. So you take the positive of home and positive of away and merge it together to give your offspring the best of both worlds.
Sure.
So a sensible spouse should see beyond the bottlenecks of what mainstream media portrays about Africa. A sensible spouse should understand that my children need to have the best of both worlds, because the culture, money can buy culture, money can buy history, money can buy vibe. The culture, the vibe, the language that your children will learn and would use in their life to get them rooted deep in your source will also serve as a catalyst to catapult them into a better way of life wherever they call home eventually. So I think it depends on understanding and unity and working together to achieve a common goal.
Definitely. I would agree that, it starts from wanting the happiness of your spouse. And I think for me, one thing I recognized quite early on was that if this wasn't a project you were able to embark on and have something of your own in Abeokuta, in your hometown, in your home city, I could see the like unhappiness growing and the frustration growing, and I could see that that desire was there. I saw that quite early on. So, and that's why you said it's about having a spouse who just wants happiness for you, because otherwise, and also good communication. I think if you have a spouse who, for whatever reason, is hesitant to do something back home, I think it's the responsibility of the other spouse who wants to go home to actually just have a real conversation, heart to heart, and ask, like, what are your what are your hesitations about it? What are your fears? What are your, like, tell me, is it, is it, friends and family? Is it, you don't think, is it financial? Is it, you don't think we'll find people that we can trust to help us do this project? Like, really get to the bottom of it, and then, talk through it and hopefully come to a resolution. That's the advice I would give, for sure. Okay. So now let's get to the timeline of this whole thing. So how long did it take us from buying the land to completion? So yeah, let's talk about what year did we, because we're going to put a timeline. What year did we buy the land?
I believe we bought the land 4 or 5 years ago now.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think about
4 years ago.
I want to say.
I think so.
Yeah.
So I just I had some extra funds. Then I didn't want the British tax system to take it away from me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
or maybe 5. Tola wasn't born then, was she?
Not at all.
No. So actually,
so I think it's 5.
Yeah.
5.
Okay.
I actually remember the day we came here to take picture, and the whole place was like a thick jungle. So I think it's 5 years ago. So just had some extra funds, and I didn't want to blow the money away. Like, let me just buy the land. So it's just there, and hopefully it appreciates. Then maybe one day I can flip it and make some profit. Okay. So yeah, so that is.
And then from deciding to start to actually build something on the land, that was about 3 years ago. Yeah. So we've gone from like 2019 through to, we bought the land 2019, I want to say, or 2020. And then 2020-ish. Yeah. And then started building, what year would that have been?
2022?
Yeah, something like that. 2022, right? Okay. What was our budget goal for this whole project when we started? And did we stick to the budget?
Yeah, budget.
Did we have a budget?
I would say I didn't have a budget. All I had was the mental picture of the proverbial house that I want to build. There was the 3D render, there was the picture and everything. So I spoke to the engineer that we started this together. Unfortunately, we didn't end together.
That's another story.
That's another story in its own way. So I was like, I want to build something that is not your normal average Nigerian house. Yeah. Not too bogus, not too conspicuous, and something that is unique. Because as my mom says, she likes things that are different. Yeah, for sure. From others. So he showed me pictures and whatnot, and we had a conversation, and he gave me this design. I was like, yeah, this is what I want to build, without a kobo in my pocket. So I had a picture, I had everything. Then he now gave me like a breakdown of what would build the skeleton of the house. I was just laughing at myself, like, bro, you should have started maybe with a 3-bed bungalow, because this is really beyond what you can save for the next 15, 20 years doing the same thing you're doing. Yeah. So it's also serves as a catalyst to, like, I can't do this and get this. Yeah. I need to look elsewhere.
Think outside the box.
Think outside the box. And don't let the normal rat race of the British system to get me trapped into the system where you just work, get paid by the rights, the government, the country takes it by the left, then
Yeah.
you could probably save less than 100K per month, naira per month, which is like £50. So the design of the house got me scared. Like, this is what I want to embark on. And that is literally how it also started, by forcing me to look outwards instead of inwards and be comfortable in my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So literally.
And is that I think it's part of your life philosophy as well, because you always say that, you know, everybody's going to die one day.
Sure.
So I think is that what gave you a bit of audacity as well to go big or go home?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have said to us, like even if you were going to start with like your first house, like you guys just went boom, full out, and it's massive. It's this, you know, the comments we've been getting. So it's like, what gave you the audacity to just go big or go home?
That's a good question. Well, I could say in my family, nobody has ever done something like this, and I'm happy to break that jinx. And I pray that more people, my family or not, will do bigger projects than this.
Amen.
Residential properties, commercial properties, or whatever, everybody should be bigger. That's
absolutely.
My prayer. So what gave me the ginger, as we say in Nigeria? The ginger came from where I grew up, because I didn't grow up with my dad. I grew up in Lagos, Agege to be precise. So I grew up with this distant relative grandmother of mine, not my grandmother, like a grandmother, like a grand aunt.
Yeah.
So she used to tell us the story. I was like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah. But
I have a funny memory. I don't forget what somebody told me 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years ago, no matter how young I was. But what you tell me like yesterday, I've forgotten. I have a funny memory as that. So she used to tell us this story about how she was a teacher for 30 years, and she had a friend also doing the same teaching. And we all know, Nigerians know, that teachers' pay are nothing to write home about, really. And she had this friend that they were colleagues, and she used to tell the friend that I'm going to build. No, the friend used to tell her actually that I'm going to build my house. I'm going to build my house. Then she'd be like, with what salary? This salary we're getting is nothing. Then she kept on, like, any conversation they have, that means her mind, her energy, she's putting that energy into the world. That's what she thinks about when she's standing, sitting, teaching children, even though the pay was rubbish. And then eventually, she then told us that, like, we used to have this Tales by Moonlight where our elders are telling us stories when we're young. That do we now all know that our friend eventually built a home? And she, because even though they were earning the same amount of money, she literally spent 50-something years of her life in a rented apartment. Since then, that fear of spending 50-something years of my life in a rented apartment has been like, she didn't know what she was doing, I guess, but it was implanting the seed of whatever you want, no matter how big or how, like, outrageous or audacious it could be. That's the best grammar. How audacious it could be. Just put your heart to it. Work towards it. Think about it day in and day. Don't let it give you high blood pressure, but just ruminate about it. So that was what I remembered when all this stuff started coming to me. And eventually, she passed away at ripe old age, but she never laid the foundation of her own house. And that her friend did build a house and whatnot. So that's the fear that got into me, that, you know what, even though this look audacious, like, I can do it.
Yeah.
Even though I couldn't do it, I believed I could do it.
Yeah.
Not just all these TED talkers or motivational speakers that they started their multi-million pound or dollar business with 10 naira they found on the floor in Oshodi Market. We had nothing when this project was started, but it served as a catalytic challenge that, even though I can't do it now, but I'm going to put my heart to it. I'm going to work towards it. Even though I'm not comfortable now, I'm going to make myself uncomfortable. And we're going to sacrifice our time, our flexing, as we say in Nigeria, our holidays, even clothes on our back, on ourselves. We just stopped spending money on ourselves. But obviously, we were looking after our children. But the house became paramount of something we need to focus on.
Yeah.
So literally, if not for that, my late grand aunt now, I doubt I would have the tenacity to actually embark on something obviously bigger than my pockets when it started. I would have probably downsized and just maintain the status quo.
And what that story teaches me is that the importance of mindset. So there was two women earning in the same job, having the same salary, but two completely different mindsets and two focus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the lady in question, your grand aunt, telling the story. She was telling the story kind of kind of in a way regretting that she did it, you know?
Yes.
She was telling for other people, for you guys to learn lessons from it.
Yeah.
That the importance of mindset. She decided that, okay, this salary I'm getting is small, it's not enough. I can't do much with it. You know, I can't even think of building a house. I'm just using it to get by. Whereas the other lady with the same salary said, I'm going to put aside whatever is needed every month and I'll still survive and I'll still do everything I got to do and I'm going to build my house. Yeah. Same salary, two women, two different life results. So definitely the importance of mindset there. So thank you for that, babe.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's get into the challenges. And there were a lot of challenges, weren't there? So let's talk about some of the challenges that we faced and how we actually overcame them. About the challenges and how we overcame them. So let's start with, what were the biggest challenges we faced from building from abroad? Because again, a lot of people have asked us, and there's a lot of different things in play here. There's trust issues, there's people's bad stories and experiences of being scammed, there's family and friends doing the scamming. There's a lot of things at play here. So what were some of our own challenges that we faced, or maybe the biggest challenges we faced?
Yeah, we faced a lot of challenges, but the biggest of them all is the Nigerian factor.
Yeah,
as I'll put it.
Nigerian factor.
But
what is the Nigerian factor, for those who don't know?
The Nigerian factor, which might be the Ugandan factor for someone from Uganda.
Or the Zimbabwean factor, or the Jamaican factor.
For someone from
I think the factors are all the same.
So it's a ubiquitous form of factor that is present everywhere at the same time for an indigene like us. So our factor was the Nigerian factor. And what's the Nigerian factor? You can have all the money in the world to do the smallest project in the world. Whilst you are not there. And you pay professionals to do this on your behalf. And you negotiated an X amount of money for their time and for their skills. And you actually pay them to do the job. But guess what? The Nigerian factor says that 70% they might not get the job done, or they might get the job done with substandard products, whereas to maximize the profits that they're going to get, even though whatever they were doing was already profitable for them. So that's the Nigerian factor. And it goes beyond professionals. We do see online, on TikTok, on Facebook, on social medias, about the sad stories of people that send bazillions of money to family and friends, to professionals, to help them build XYZ back home in whatever country they call home. Then to their they were maniacally bewildered when they got home to realize that either nothing was done, whereas the family and friends, all the professionals that was employed to do the said job were sending them pictures of other people's building and telling them that this is your building that is ongoing, and realizing that it was empty, the land was empty when they got there, or the house was built with substandard products, which they now suffer from, or there was no land at all. So this is beyond professionals. I've seen stories, I've heard stories of people close to me that their family members actually made their life miserable by lying, by, let's say, spending, the money to build a house, let's say it's 100 naira. They will tell them that it's 300 naira, and they will still use products that are worth 50 naira to do the job, even though they're going to do the job.
Yeah.
So those stuffs were bottlenecks, and I understood. So the way we went about it was, we went through the route of the professional. Then we realized that the professional was lying, was cheating us, and was also stealing other people's. Guess what? The chief engineer that started this house were actually stealing other people's building materials in the community to work on our house, whilst we pay him full amount
for supervision.
For supervision and direction, and he was stealing other people's stuff
without our knowledge,
without our
just
consent.
to add.
Then we have the community people cussing us out, like, these people, you're building a house, if you can afford it, why not do what you can afford? Why stealing other? But they didn't know that it was the supervisor that was doing the Nigerian factor. And there's so much you can see when you are thousands of miles away. There's so much you can know. And even if you want to think like, okay, let me use my brothers, my sisters, or my family members. There was a story I watched before this project started about a mother collecting money from a son to build a house. Then the son went back from Italy after 20-something years. Then realized that the mother never built anything. And he was so distraught. He said, and I quote, that he would have like beat up the mom if he doesn't have a shred of humanity left in him, that she's supposed to be beaten up. That from now, he literally disowned his mom live on camera. So with those kind of stories, you get scared, like, how can I build something in a land far away where trust is the most like expensive commodity?
Literally most valuable, but hard to find.
Hard to find. But in the midst of bad apples, there will be some good apples.
Sure.
So people like, I'm going to mention his name, people like Akogun is a family friend of mine. I call him Blaxodus, Uncle Shoda. He has really been highly instrumental, and my mom, and in helping us to make sure that the bad eggs were weed off, and what we are actually paying for, we are getting the value. And also me shouting at the top of my voice from the UK, having like low voice, having chest pain, shouting at the people that are supposed to be doing their jobs while they are being lackadaisical about it. And then like having someone that you trust that's on ground is very pertinent to having a successful build, because trust is very, very expensive.
Yeah, and I want to add to that as well. Sorry to interrupt, Viv. I just want to add for people to be very wary, because the engineer that he's talked about, we hired the engineer because we saw what he did in my own parents' home. And my parents' home on the outside looks, well, now it's perfect, but then it looked perfect, it looked beautiful. But what we didn't know was that on the inside, a lot of things,
problems.
A lot of things were wrong. A lot of things were going wrong, and then things started to happen. So I would say, even if you're going to hire a professional to supervise or basically organize everything, I guess it's important. What I'm trying to say is it's important for you to reach out to maybe someone that they have worked with before in the past, not just see it from the outside, but actually speak to the people. Like, since you've been in the house, is everything okay? Like, things have not, like, pipes haven't burst, you haven't flooded, things haven't gone wrong. Like, have you actually been enjoying the house? Is everything running smoothly? Was it built as you wanted it? Yeah. Because you can just see it, look around, and then go hire the person and not know what the owners of that house are actually going through once you've left, right?
And you said the good thing, because we took the house from the engineer much more earlier than other people did. And those other people that we also know are suffering from trusting a professional to be professional in their professionalism.
Just based on what they saw.
Just based on what they saw
in somebody else's
that they've done.
Yeah.
So by taking the control of this house myself, to make sure that I get the technocrats, the handymen, as we call them in the UK, like the tiler, the painter, the bowl guy, the plumber. By taking this house much more earlier, saved us from a lot of headaches. And even at that, there were a lot of things that we had to spend money on over and over again to
yeah.
get the desirable result that we want.
So the people will want to know, what did the engineer do that was bad, that made us take the house from him and finish it ourselves?
So a lot of things. First and foremost, lack of trust. Secondly, trying to tell you what is best for you. I'm the one that employ you to build something for me. I know what I want. Now, your job as a professional is to modify an existing laid down design to my taste.
Absolutely.
So there was a lot of back and forth.
Arguments.
On what should be done. Like, our house is sitting on a 2 plots of land, and he was trying to design a main gate that is okay for like an half plot or a 1 plot of land. Then I was like, the land is massive. We need a massive gate. Funny enough, the car that we drive is a Tundra, massive car that wouldn't have even fit in a normal sized gate we wanted to do. A lot of things, cementing, plastering wood, and against the decking. The engineers were, that's what I'm saying. So instead of removing all the wood of the decking, which is the second floor or the first floor, they actually plastered it with it, which started decaying. A lot of plumbing issues.
That shows the importance, like I said before, of speaking to, if you're going to hire a professional, speak to somebody who that person has worked with before. So check the house that they've built. If you can't, speak to the owners of the house, make sure they're happy with it. We're definitely going to put some images and videos of some of the things that we went through, some of the things we found in the house that we could only really have found out once we had, been here and moved in. So we'll definitely flash that. So yeah, talk to us about the video they're probably seeing on their screen right now with the water, the conduits.
Yeah, the conduit. So filling up a 3,000 liter tank, vanishing within 30 minutes, which is unheard of. Unknowing to us, the conduit pipes had been leaking in the house. So which is the recipe for disaster. If it isn't like caught up on early, it could lead to the house collapsing. So I got a plumber myself that now came and told me that we can't repair it. If we had to repair it, we had to break apart the house. A lot of parts will be broken apart, the tiles, the screening has been done, the painting has been done, bricks, cement. We're going to waste a lot of materials that we should just condemn the whole pipe work. So that's what we did. We literally condemned the whole conduit pipe work of the house. Then we had to rerun a whole new pipe works from the outside to make sure the water is getting into the house, and also the drainages are draining properly, which were not when we came in. So a lot of teething problem, but we are still happy because it's not as much or as worse as other people that had employed this certain man that called himself an engineer. What he had done, and some has really ended up in tears due to the bad work that has been done.
Yeah.
But so that is where, like as they say, necessity gives birth to invention. So when I realized personally that it's so hard to get people to do something in Nigeria, like I can talk about my country per se, you have to know someone that knows someone that knows someone that knows someone. So we have a project in the works that we're gonna talk about and let people know in the future. And for now, we are also.
I was gonna say, slow down, babe. We'll make that announcement at the end.
Okay. So, well, she's the anchor.
All right, we'll talk more about that. Because those are the part of the questions we've been asked as well. So, okay, babe, looking back, like everything that we've experienced, all of the number of days you've had to, shout and lose your voice, the number of days we've, had tears, we've cried, we've been frustrated, we've been angry, everything we've been through, firing the engineer, firing so many people and then hiring new people, then firing them too, everything we've been through. If you're like looking back, what would you actually do differently?
What I would do differently is pray to get a genuine person to actually take control of what someone's trying to do. because even though we have dreams that could travel the world a second, we can't be at different places at the same time.
Sure.
You still need someone to trust. You
Sure.
still need someone to work with.
Sure.
So, me personally, going through this hard way to learn has given me enough information, enough experience, which they say is the best teacher. To if I had to do this all over again, it wouldn't cost me as much. It wouldn't cost me as much with my time, with my voice, with headache. I know who to go to, I know where to go to, I know who to talk to, and I know who to work with now. So, which is what has made us to create our own what we call Blaxodus properties. I had to say it anyway because she's just gonna.
He's made the announcement already. It's all
right.
So,
Blaxodus properties, in a way, is a platform that we've created so that other people that want to do what we've done wouldn't go through the same stress we've went through, whereby people that are not on ground in Nigeria, regardless of where they are worldwide, that want to build a house, build a farm, which I have experience on because we used to have a farm, build any form of brick and mortar business that needs structure. We would help them to build it, and they will be carried along on each step of the way. And obviously, we will be 100% open and let them
transparent.
Know, and transparent. That Nigerian factor will, if not totally eliminated, will be extremely reduced to negligible ratio, maybe in decimals point. So that is what we've created, and that is what we're starting on. So as Yoruba say, ẹni tó bá máa fún mi láṣọ tọrùn ẹ̀ lákọ́kọ́ wò, which means the person that's gonna give me a cloth, like, oh, I want to give you this cloth, I have so much, then you have to look at what the person is wearing. If the person is wearing a rag, the person cannot give you a good cloth. That means they are maybe lying, or you are the product, or they are not trustworthy. So because we've had the experience of building this house, we can now easily replicate it with little to no stress to ourselves that are running the company, and also to the potential clients of people that needed their house built. Because building in Nigeria is just beyond having money and setting up, like, let's be known. There are a lot of paperwork, a lot of approval that have to be sorted from the local government, from the state government, so that, let's say in the nearest future, there's going to be a major highway that would probably pass through your land, you would get a proper payout of what your property is worth 10, 50, 100 years time, maybe to your children or your grandchildren. So all those paperwork are very important, and it's good to follow the people that know road. And
even going through certain checks, because it was only on going through this whole process that I learned that you can buy a land that is already owned by somebody else, you guys. Sure. There's a lot of things to be wary of. It happens a lot,
especially the Omonile issue, where like you can buy a land that 10 people have already bought already, and they all have the same documentation. So a lot of things goes beyond just having money, like, yes, I want to do something. You need to know from the government that has this land been bought, has it been gazetted, is it owned by the government?
It's far beyond just having money, because even you coming with like a lot of money, that doesn't guarantee anything of quality will be built, because if you fall into the wrong hands of people, that money ain't going to do much for you. It's not going to go far at all. We've seen it. We've experienced it through other people. So we know what we're talking about. And the reason we are launching Blaxodus Properties is because of our experience and the experiences of many people around us who are, in very different situations right now, because they trusted the wrong people, and they weren't able to remove themselves from the clutches of those people on time.
Be it family, be it friends, be it professionals.
Absolutely. So, and a lot of people have said to us their biggest fear is that, because they have the capital, but they don't have people that they trust to actually build their house for them back home. So we just wanted to start with where we can, which is Abeokuta, which is Nigeria. So anyone who is, who has been harboring the desire to build their own dream home in Nigeria, especially in Ogun State, especially in Abeokuta. So we have launched Blaxodus Properties because of our experiences and the things that we have gone through, the mistakes we've made, the lessons we've learned. And we wanted to package all of that and provide a solution for other people, as people have been asking us and telling us, explaining to us that their biggest fear is that they want to also build their dream home, in Nigeria, but they are scared, they are fearful because they don't know who to trust, they don't know how to find the right people to hire, and so many stories that they've heard. So this is kind of our small solution to part of the Nigerian factor problem. And, like I said, based on our experiences, we have family friends and family members who have unfortunately not been able to get out of the clutches of, they've fallen into the trap of the wrong people and not been able to get out of their clutches until their whole project is done. And then it's subpar.
So it was a mess.
It was a mess. They're not satisfied. They're not happy. And it's really painful, you guys. It's really painful to build something, to invest in something, and then you're not fully satisfied. You're not even satisfied with it at all. Like, it's really upsetting. It's really stressful, and it's really expensive. We really don't want people to go through that, ever again. So we're starting with our own, in our own state. We're starting with, helping people in Abeokuta, in Ogun State, and then definitely, we'll be expanding further and further. But we're just starting with, where he knows best, and where currently our dream team, because we've been able to gather a dream team and put, the right people together, again, based on the people who worked on this house. And trust me, it took us ages to get to this point to even have a dream team. Like I said, the amount of people we've had to hire and fire. Okay, so we've now got the dream team, so we can literally replicate everything and help you to build your dream home. So if this is something you are interested in, if this is something, a desire you've been harboring for a long time, this is your sign. This is your sign. 2026, start your house, build your house. If you've got the capital but nothing else, no resources, no people, no ideas, that's where we can help you, partner with you, and step in. So we will leave the details and information of how you can contact us at Blaxodus Properties below this video. Please reach out. Let's have a consultation, an appointment, and realize how to help you build your dream home and go from there. All right, babe. Nice. Exciting times.
Thank you.
Okay, I've got more questions now. We're not done. So, okay, what should people never do when trying to build in Nigeria from abroad? There's a lot of things to not do, but yeah, like, to you, what should you never do?
To me, the most important is don't hire where you can't fire.
Ooh. Okay.
Don't hire where you can't fire.
Okay.
Because when push comes to shove, the only reason you have people around you is money. And what you want to do, you want to use money for. But if you hire somebody you can't fire, money is also involved. But how can you mitigate the Nigerian factor with you potentially losing your money? If in life, if there is no consequence, there can't be an organization or any form of organization to achieve any goal. There has to be consequence. For when people stray from their path, they need to have consequences. So when I say don't hire where you can fire, especially family, I would never do business with my family, with a blood relative, because from my experience, even though it's been bitter, I've learned my lesson. Doing business with family costs, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, comes with a lot of issues. So let's say everything doesn't go well. Let's say your brother decides to steal from you, take from you. Then the community will be like, you need to forgive him. He's your brother. What are you gonna do? You can't jail your brother. You can't get your brother arrested. Like, you're the black sheep of the family. Because you have money. How much does he think he has? Is he not just his brother? How much did he steal from you? That is where the emotional blackmail comes in. And that is when I realized, by paying the price, that you should never work with somebody you can't call to order. albeit you're junior, you're senior, don't hire who you can't fire. Because when you hire somebody you can fire, subconsciously they know that if they mess up, if they stray from the professional path that you've employed their skills and the time, there'll be consequence for them. They will have to either refund your money or you might have to go to court to settle it amicably. But when you hire someone you can't fire, whatever they do, you just have to accept it. But nobody as we say in Nigeria, nobody nobody gifted you the money that you are trying to use to build your project.
At all.
You worked your ass off, you, pardon my French, you sweat, you hustle. So you need someone that can be called to order. I'm sorry to say, a lot of people make the mistake of employing family and friends to manage their project. But when the order happens, then they'll be like, what can I do? It's my brother, it's my sister, it's my friend, we grew up together. Then the community will be like, I forgive him now, it's just more money you stole, it's your friend. So all those stuff is what is stunting our growth, especially the SMEs, the small and medium enterprises. That is why our economy falters, because we can't call people to ransom, we can't call people to order, we can't put checks and balances because of the familiarity.
We can't give feedback.
We can't give feedback.
Oh
Constructive feedback.
Constructive feedback.
Like, I was there when you were born. Is this small dummy or is this small Akin that's telling me that maybe the food I cooked for them is not sweet, or the pepper I give them is not enough, or the construction I'm doing is not of standard? Is it not just a small boy? Is it because you have money? If you don't want all those higiyaga, as we also say in Nigeria, all those brouhaha, just make sure you engage professionals that you can trust. And when they go against that trust, they know that there's consequence for it. So never hire who you can't fire.
I love that. That is a great tip. I love that so much. Okay, babe. So one of the biggest questions we've been asked so many times is, how much do I need to build something just like this? Okay, let's get into the figures just to give like an idea. I think what we can give you is a good idea. So like now, and there's inflation, and the price of things in Nigeria is always changing. So just bear that in mind. But what we can do is just to give you an idea of, if you wanted to build something like this today, on 2 plots of land. Maybe let's start with the land. And again, the land, it depends on the area, right? So, okay, if you were to copy and paste this in this area, this exact house today, what kind of budget roughly should somebody kind of prepare for?
Yes, I would start this by quoting your dad.
Okay.
My father-in-law once said to me when he caught on a little bit about my interest in building my own house. Because when I saw his own house too, which is a beautiful house, a form of a retirement house for him. So he told me that you can never, for 90% of the populace of this world, that maybe they were not John D. Rockefeller's extended family or JP Morgan's family or Nigerian politician's family, that you cannot save up the money for you to build your dream home from start to finish. You just need to start. Yeah. You just need to start. So that also resonated in me when I was doing this, because I was like, am I going to be 70-something years before I finish this house? Looking at how expensive it was becoming. So when I started this house, I would use a bag of cement as a mold and a medium. A bag of cement when I started was 2,300 naira. I can't forget. It was 2,300 naira. And by the time we were rounding up from the cement, it was 10,500 naira. Now we can look at the percentage increment of 2,003 to 10,005. That's, I'm not that good at math anymore. Old age is coming. That is more than 400% increment. Now, when we now look at the exchange rate. Now, I'm using pound sterling as an example because some people back in England think that the more they hold on, the more pounds gets more valuable against naira, then the more they can easily build anything they want to
Oh
build.
no.
But it doesn't work like that because now the cost of living, the cost of things, materials in Nigeria has quadrupled since I started 3 years ago. But the value of pounds has only like doubled. So if you are holding on in pound sterling that you want to build your dream home, now you have to purchase what has now increased in price in a quadruple manner with a currency that's had only doubled in value against the local currency. So you're at a loss already. So when we started, I said earlier that I didn't have a budget. I just knew what it's my cost to finish it, which was scary for me. But based on the fluidity and the non-stability of our local currency, Naira, I can only give this estimate and valuation in pounds because that is a little bit more stable than Naira.
Okay, yeah.
So eventually, when I look at the money spent on the land, on the documentation, on the legalization, on the building, on the materials, on how the workmanship, everything.
And supervision.
And supervision, everything in between. In British pound sterling, I would say this property we are in now is north of £450,000 upward. Now, that might change if our currency gets stronger or it's been getting weaker since I've been born, or mostly gets weaker again. So, and the more time goes by, the more expensive things come. And in Nigeria, law of gravity doesn't really work because whatever goes up, especially in pricing, doesn't really come down. Things just keeps on getting more expensive, more expensive, more expensive. I remember when I was in secondary school, a bag of cement was 1,000 naira, 900 naira. When I started, it was 2,300 naira. Now it's 10,500 naira. So by this time, next year, December next year, I'm not crossing my country, but based on the outlook of our economy and how it is being controlled by the IMF and World Bank and all the incessant loans our government keep borrowing that we can't really pay back, and the corruption in the system, I can foresee that the Nigerian naira will probably becomes weaker and the price of everything, materials and what is needed to build a home will keep on going higher. So that £450,000 that could give you this house now might be £350,000 or £300,000 by next year, or might be £800,000 or £700,000 by next year. So it solely depends on the forex of the country and the value of the local currency.
Of the naira at that point. Okay. So yeah, so that's, you know, that's a lot. And thank you for sharing that. But what I don't want somebody watching this to hear 300, 400,000 pounds and get scared. So I suppose what would you say to someone who has heard you say 400,000 and it's like, okay, well, that's not possible for me then?
Yeah, that is the same feeling I had when I saw the figures on paper when I was about to start. But what I'll say is don't let that get you spooked, because all you have to do is just start, as I said. Because you'll be surprised how much we've spent on irrelevant things along the years, because it piles up. So if the quotation I gave is to build exact thing we've built on this exact type of land, this area, whatnot, but there are different type of houses. There are bungalows. Bungalows are much more cheaper than what we call upstairs in a story building in Nigeria. It's way more cheaper. Doing the decking, which is the first floor, it's like it's like trying to build a house on its own. So you can have a house of yours, even if you have £50,000, if you have 70,000, 100,000, it depends on what you want and where you want it to be built. Because price of land differs. Location, proximity to the main road, accessibility, electricity in the area, and the security of the area is is not uniform. It's different. Even in the UK or US, there are prime areas for real estate and there are other areas.
Yeah.
You mean. So don't let the money get you spooked or get you scared. Even if you have £10,000, you can start something.
Okay.
A foundation can be started on a piece of land. At least you know that you have somewhere that work needs to be done. So gradually, before you blink, you'll be surprised what you've achieved already.
Absolutely. So that's the important message, that it doesn't, whatever you have now, you can definitely start. Like, don't wait until you've saved up, you know, £300,000 and then be like, okay, now I want to build, because that probably won't happen, right? And then life will happen and then you'll get distracted and then you'll spend the money on something else. So no, I think the main message is like, whatever you have, if it's £5,000, £10,000, just start. Ask the question, okay, where can I buy the land, right, to start with this £10,000, which now is like 20 million. 20 million naira. Definitely you find a land for that.
Find the land, and the work on the building would also start.
Will start as well, depending on what you want. Because there's areas of, you know, Nigeria where you can spend that whole £300,000
on a piece of land.
On just the land. Just the land. It is very possible. So that's why we said it depends on what you want. It depends on what your desire is, what your goal is, what's important to you. So all of those conversations are, you know, is a conversation we would have all together once you contact us at Blaxodus Media and Blaxodus Properties.
And guess what? She said there are pieces of land, there are places that you can get land for £300,000 per plot. And there are places you can get a piece of land for £1,000. It depends on where you want the project built. So.
Yeah. And what is your desire? Is your desire to see more diasporan families, you know, return home and do something like this for themselves?
Yeah, as a Pan-African, I would love to see my brothers and sisters doing well wherever they are, wherever they've called home. And I also would love to see them doing well where they came from, because eventually where you are is different from where you're from, and where you're from would always mostly denote how people treat you. We can look at China as a case study. China was once called the sick man of Asia because they were in abject poverty. Things were not going well for them. They were exposed to racism a lot wherever they went. Now, let's look at 2025. China is, if not the strongest economy in the world, probably the second, solely behind America. The respect they deserve, they get. The way they treat a Nigerian passport holder is not the way they treat a Chinese passport holder, unfortunately. And we've all been part of the problem by actually, some of us demarket the country. Some of us talk bad about our country. And also our leaders have not been helping because of corruption and nepotism. With all the wealth that flowed from this country, most have been stolen, infrastructure is lacking. But the people that have the opportunity to go to the other side of the world, in my head, I was thinking that why can't we try and replicate some of these good things in these cultures? Why can't we build something back home? And I know a lot of pain in people's mind is the trust issues. Someone will tell me, I've tried to do this, I was swindled. I've tried to do. I actually met a man, I won't say his name, on a plane when I was coming to Nigeria to start up my farm 4 years ago. And he told me, young man, don't do it. I've invested a lot of money in this country and people are stealing my assets, my investment, my profits. And I did the farm and I learned the lesson the hard way. I realized what he was saying was actually true. Before I had to start looking at more like, okay, how can I solve this problem? And that is how we've come out to create our own dream team. And we're going to be expanding to also provide jobs for the people that want a job, and also get the homes of people that are outside the country that want to have something that as a legacy for themselves and their children. So basically that's it.
I love that. And how did you feel when you walked in for the first time? I mean, I know how I felt, and we'll include some snippets of my reaction as well. But how did you feel when you walked in, stepped in the home for the first time?
Yeah, I felt a sigh of relief. Like like pregnancy of 3 years had actually been born,
Delivered.
delivered. I felt happy. I felt direct opposite of what other people feel when they go home and realize that they've just wasted their money, they've wasted their time, and how they felt anguish and tears. I was happy that, like, okay, I finally have a place that I can call my own. And that's exactly how I felt. Like all the stress that it's like a huge rock, like the Oluma rock has been lifted off my shoulder. Now I can rest and relax and soak it in. Like this is what we've been trying, we've done.
Yeah, and sacrifice.
And sacrifice.
Yeah.
All the sleepless nights, all the time we couldn't go to the club, we couldn't party, we couldn't do even proper birthdays for our kids because of what we are doing is much more
cutting back
everything. On a lot of things. Like now we can now relax and enjoy the project and enjoy ourselves. So
going
I was
forward.
happy.
I love that. I love that. And finally, because, you know, again, like I've seen so many reels and we share them amongst ourselves all the time. And there was this one reel I saw recently, and it was this young lady, you know, in her 30s by the looks of it. She's been sending money to maybe her siblings. I think she'd been sending money to her mom.
Yeah.
Guys, she'd been sending money to her mom to help her build, buy a land and I think build something,
home,
you know, in Nigeria. I'm sure it was Nigeria. And then so the reel is her on this, she's just on this piece of land.
Yeah.
And
Smiling.
she's like, look at my dream home that my family helped me build after sending money for so many years to them. Here's the house. And obviously it's kind of like, you know, it's like sarcasm
it's an irony.
Yeah, it's an irony because you're like, well, where's the house? Because I'm just looking at you on a piece of land. And then you realize, like, shit, like, they didn't build nothing for her. That's why. And then the video ends and she looks really angry and sad. And I was just like, I was heartbroken for her. And I was like, these are real stories we come across all the time. And this is exactly why a lot of people are so scared to do, you know, follow their dreams and, you know, build back home. And that's exactly why we started Blaxodus Properties. So just to give you more background into that as well. So finally, babe, any closing, any like, you know, words of encouragement for people watching this who maybe are scared to build still, to build back home or scared to take the leap? The desire is there, but they're scared. Any, you know, final words of encouragement?
All I can say is, as I love to say, we're all gonna die. I don't know how many times I've repeated that statement in this interview, but we're all gonna die. What do you want to feel or what do you want to think about when you are lying on your deathbed? For the lucky few among us that will be surrounded by families in our final hours on this planet. What do you want to think about? What do you want to envision? Do you want to think that, oh, I came to this world, I have my own shelter, I've lived my life on my terms, and I can just close my eyes and know that my offspring are well looked after. I've put my affairs in order. The wealth I've built as I was growing up is an appreciative kind of wealth. I didn't spend my first millions in Naira or my first thousands in pounds to buy a liability, maybe a car or whatnot. It's just something that I can pass down as a legacy, whether they live in it or they flip it, they sell it, then reinvest in whatever the investment of their time is. That's what I want you to think about. Don't be scared about the numbers. Everything is mindset. There are people that have had much more money than us that cannot point to what they've used the money for.
Yeah.
There are people that are more popular, that are more rich, that have more connections, that even know people that we know to do this, but their mindset is not there. Then when the money fades, then they realize that it's over. So just get the mindset right, get your focus right, get your money right, and do something that in the next 5, 10, 20 years, you will look back like and smile like, yes, this is what I've been able to achieve for myself, for my legacy, and for my offspring. Don't let anything be an hindrance to you. Believe in yourself. Work hard, but most importantly, work smart. Thank you very much.
Wave a magic wand and see 10 years into the future. What would be your desires and plans for Blaxodus Properties and for Nigeria and Africa at large?
Yeah, Blaxodus Properties is one of our brainchild, and in the next 5-10 years, we want to see it's grown and expanded, bringing real life solutions to real life problems of everything we've talked about in this interview. We want it to break barriers of borders across West Africa and across Africa at large, because a journey of 1,000 miles truly begins with a step. So, and as they say in French, petit à petit l'oiseau fait son île, which means little by little a bird builds its nest. So the nest is being built, and we hope that it will transform and change a lot of lives, both the people that will be working with us, working for us, and the people that will be working with, and the people that will be working for, to build the Africa of our dreams. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode. We hope you've learned something. We hope you're inspired. We hope you're motivated. And we really hope that you actually take the leap and, go for your goals. And that thing that's been in your heart and on your mind, just start it. We hope if you just take one thing away from this episode, just start your house project. Just start building. Just buy the land.
Just do it. Like
just do it. So thank you so much for joining us today here on Blaxodus Media. Follow us. We are on all the social media,
yes.
And we are obviously on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel right here, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. You can find him individually, Mr. Ibile, and you can find us as Blaxodus Media as well. Until next time, guys, I've been your host, Dami B. Take care of yourselves and each other.
Proudly sponsored by Ibile Coin and Blaxodus Media Group. Bye.